What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dale and I like to make videos based off fitness and health. So if you are into that sort of thing, please consider subscribing below. So with spring coming up and summer ultimately following that in about 4 months, we're going to be looking to start losing weight right now. Do not wait until the summer to start losing weight because you're not going to be able to reap the benefits of looking much better once bikini season's over. So you might as well start now. Being on a diet is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's obviously easier to just eat whatever you want and not actually pay attention to anything. But when we're trying to lose weight, it makes more sense to track your calories and obviously eat less calories than you are burning. That way we're losing fat. So with that, you are going to inevitably fall off the wagon every once in a while. And the key is getting back on that wagon before it lights on fire and is no longer available for you to jump back on. So today I'm going to be going over 3 tips on how to get back on track once you've fallen off in your diet. And we're going to start with tip number 1, which is going to be planning your diet or your workouts in advance. So this is gonna help a few things. For the workouts, for example, if you plan, I'm going to work out from 5 to 6 o'clock tomorrow, it leaves the guessing work out of it. It takes the mentality aspect of forcing yourself to go out of it because you've already scheduled between 5 and 6 o'clock, you are going to be doing your workout. It's going to make it much easier and it's going to feel like it's on your schedule, much like going to work. There are days where you don't want to go to work, but you wake up and you say, I don't want to go. Well, too bad you have to because your boss is expecting you to be there, and if you don't go, you're going to get fired. It's the same as a workout. If you wake up and you don't necessarily want to go, if it's already scheduled into your day, you're going to be able to go much easier because the time is already allotted for it. Now, for a diet, we're going to be planning meals in advance. What this does is it takes the guesswork out of it. It makes it thinkless. You're going to wake up, you're going to have your breakfast already planned out. You know exactly what you're going to eat. There's not going to be a choice. You know what it is. Then your snack that you bring to work or whatever, you're going to have that with you. Obviously, it's going to be packed. Your lunch is going to be packed. This is going to take the thinking out of it. Many people struggle with diets because they have to constantly think and make choices. Well, if you don't have to make any choices, it's going to be a lot easier to stick to the diet, and it's going to be a lot better long term for you in terms of getting back on track if you happen to fall off. You're going to know exactly what to eat and you're going to lose weight. Now, to take that one step further, you can even make the meals in advance or meal prep it. That's an easy way. I know for me personally, if I start to fall off a diet and I do like a week of meal prepping to get myself back on track because it takes the guesswork out of it and you already know what you're eating. You don't spend time cooking. You don't spend time taste testing all the snacks in your cabinet, which, another tip, get rid of the junk food in your house. Throw it in the garbage. Get it out. Because if it's not there, you're not going to have access to it. You're not going to drive to the store if you want an Oreo. You're going to walk to the cabinet, see that it's not there, and go, damn, that sucks, and sit back down. And you're not going to eat it. So get rid of the junk food. Plan your meals in advance. And if you want to take it even one step further, meal prep the meals so that it takes all the guesswork out of it and it makes it 10 times easier. So tip number 2 is going to be to identify a go-to meal that you can correlate with a diet. And what you're going to want with this meal is you're going to want it to be like a well-balanced meal that is relatively high in protein, that is healthy, that you correlate to a diet. Ideally, this meal is something that you enjoy eating and you'd have no problem eating when you're off a diet, and it's going to serve the purpose of bridging the gap between you falling off your diet over the weekend and you getting back on it. You have this meal and you can correlate with your brain to say, okay, this meal right here is the start of my diet again. It's a start of me jumping back on, getting back on the diet, and make sure it's something enjoyable for you so that you enjoy eating it. It's not gonna be something that's hard to eat. You want it to be something that you want when you're off the diet, as well as when you're on the diet. So it makes it a more seamless transition getting back on. So unless you really love chicken, broccoli, and rice, just very basic foods, I recommend not making this meal chicken, broccoli, and rice just because it's so clean. And if you don't really enjoy it, you're not going to want to eat it after a weekend binge. You're going to want to continue binging because it's easier. If you made it something like, for me, is a spinach salad with chicken, a bunch of vegetables. I put grapes on it for a little bit of sweetness because I have a sweet tooth, that is going to make it easy for me to transition. For only 330 calories and 31 grams of protein, there's nothing wrong with that meal, and it's something that I would eat both on and off a diet. It's a go-to meal for me that whenever I start to fall off my diet, I always eat that, and it makes it so it's way easier for me to get back onto the diet. And the third tip that's arguably the most important is do not wait. Start right now. Whether it's a diet or a workout, do not wait. The longer you wait, the longer time you have to stay off track and the more comfortable you're going to get. This is both short and long term. In the long term, do not wait for Monday. Do not wait for the summer to start your diet. You need to start right now. The longer you wait, the longer you're going to talk yourself out of doing it, because a diet for some reason is associated with something you don't want to do, when it should be something that you enjoy doing, that you can do for the longest period of time. Remember, consistency over intensity is going to yield the best results for you, and you need to start right away. There will never be a perfect time to start a diet, right? There's no perfect time, like, oh, I just happen to have a healthy chef that stays at my house and makes all my food. No, that's not going to happen. There's never going to be a time where you find it to be, this is the exact time I'm going to diet and it's going to be the easiest right now. No, the perfect time is starting right now. You have to do it immediately. Think of it this way. There is no way for you to mess up your diet, especially if you're living a normal life like most people. If you don't have to make weight for anything, you're not going to mess anything up. Say you eat a cheat meal or two in a row. As long as you get right back on the diet, you didn't mess anything up. There's no deadline that you have to hit that is completely crucial for you to make a certain weight. What is going to ultimately mess up the diet is if you continue down that track of constantly cheating, and then eventually you just convince yourself, you know what, I'm not even dieting anymore. You've had 5, 6, 7, 8 cheat meals in a row. It's no longer a diet, so you talk yourself out of it. And most people do not like to fail. So instead of looking at the diet and saying, I failed, we like to convince ourselves that we didn't fail. I didn't fail. The diet ended. I stopped dieting. No, you failed the diet, and you could have just gotten right back on, because who cares? It's your diet. There's nothing that you need to lose weight by a certain time for. It's all your goals. You're very capable of eating whatever you want. Say you want to go out for a pizza and beers. Go ahead. Go get your pizza, go get your beers, and then the next morning, start with something healthy and just continue the diet after that. Move on. It's not failing your diet because you had one meal. That doesn't even make any sense. As long as you hop right back on, you didn't fail. You didn't even mess up. It's okay. And in the very short term, I like to say start with the next meal. Don't go to a diner for breakfast and get a large stack of pancakes, eat the whole thing and say, all right, well, the diet's done for the day. I'll start again tomorrow. No, start with the next meal, whether that's your snack in between breakfast and lunch or it's your lunch. Start with the very next meal, because what's the point in waiting? The longer you wait, the longer time you have to think about the meal. So you're going to sit there and think, oh my God, I can't believe I ate that. I failed the diet. And you're going to ultimately lead yourself to that point that we had just talked about, with you completely abandoning the diet altogether. Remember, people want to have comfort. There is comfort in success. There's not a lot of comfort in failure. It's easier to say, I didn't fail on my diet, the diet ended, than to say, all right, I failed the diet. Because it's convincing ourselves that we succeeded. We did the whole diet. When, no, you didn't. You just stopped the diet early in order to tell people that you didn't fail. The diet ended. Diets shouldn't end. We should try to eat healthy all the time for our long-term health. Why would you want to get really skinny and then fat and then really skinny and then fat? Nobody wants to do that. It's yo-yo dieting. Nobody wants that. We want to stay relatively lean all the time, most importantly for our long-term health. There is other things going on other than appearance with eating healthy. We should always eat relatively healthy. That's not saying not to ever eat junk food. You want to eat a pizza or you want to have ice cream every once in a while, go ahead. I do it, so I don't have any right to tell you not to. But all I'm saying is we should strive to eat majority healthy just so we can stay on earth longer, right? It only makes sense. So that's going to be it for my 3 tips on getting back on track for a diet. Remember, the saying goes, we fell off the wagon, not we fell off the wagon and the wagon got lit on fire and smashed up against a tree and now it's not there, right? There's always time to jump back on. The 3 tips being, number 1, to plan your diet or your workouts in advance. Number 2, identify a go-to diet meal that is going to help you bridge the gap between you falling off the diet and you getting back on. And number 3 being, do not wait, start right now. I appreciate you guys checking this out. If you liked it and learned anything of value, please consider liking and subscribe if you haven't. Every Sunday I put out a new video talking about fitness and health, so if you're interested, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.